I do not traffic in the AP poll. I know you at least give it a passing glance per week. So let's start firing these questions off. I know this is the direction you want to go. So I'm teed up. I got the friction between my hands. Let's get hot here.
All right, so you can ignore the AP poll you want. It's still newsworthy. Some people say they ignore the JP poll, even though it's newsworthy. But either way, they're out there, so we should pay attention to them and know what they look like. I want to know from you, which team in this top 10 has exceeded your expectations the most this season?
Washington. We had Washington in the low teens or maybe around 20 in the preseason JP poll, but I take pride in the fact that now I get to look at the AP and I get to say, you guys are too low on Washington. Like I'm looking at Washington, we got them in the top 5 right now, so we've course corrected. Washington has just zoomed in the JP past where they are in the AP. Here's the thing about them. They are the top 10 team no one's really watched this year. And when people tell you they've watched a Washington game, they're lying to you. They have not watched entire Washington games. And I'm not a hypocrite because knowing we were going to go down this road today, last night I laid in bed, stay with me, I laid in bed and I watched Washington games. And I watched their game against Cal because I remember I was at Notre Dame and I had a buddy text me saying, ooh, Washington, they're stumbling out of the gate here. They won 59-32, and a lot of those 32 points were in garbage time. Michael Penix is like watching a ringer at the circus or at the fair who can cheat all the games that are made to cheat you. Michael Penix looks like the dude who figured out that the rims aren't quite as tight on this particular game over here, and he's just draining 3 after 3 after 3. They've got probably 2, if not 3, high-level NFL wide receivers on that team. They are not poor. They're not smoking mirrors on the line of scrimmage. They're really, really good. Really good. So I did not expect them to be better this year than they were last year, and I think they are.
Absolutely. Watch the first play of the game. Left tackle pulls around, absolutely bulldozes a Cal linebacker.
Yeah.
Physicality at the point of attack on both sides. They had a special team score. They had a defensive score early in that game. I think, but some of us had Washington in the playoffs, so we're not super surprised that this is happening so far. So,
some did, yeah. Don't do the awkward silence, please. You can't reach around because you don't have the flexibility you once had to pat yourself on the back. But we just heard you do it. So who surprised you? Is it only Washington? Like, what about Utah? Utah hasn't even played Jesse, and Utah's sitting in there in the top 10 of the AP poll right now.
It would be Utah because of what they've done at quarterback and what a brilliant job Andy Ludwig has done with that offense. Not only playing a backup quarterback, but managing 2 backup quarterbacks and using them situationally. Still at the point of attack defensively and on offense, I think they're exactly what they've been the last couple of years. I'll give you another one, though, and I'll eat a little bit of crow on this one. Ohio State would be the other team. Utah, you see there what they've gone through, because I love that UCLA rushing attack. I think that was a more difficult win than people are going to talk about.
Yes.
I cannot wait for Friday night. Holy hell, that's going to be an awesome game with Utah at Oregon State. I think the line is a little bit weird on that one also. We can throw that in and talk about it later. I think that's a strong resume. I thought a lot of Baylor until I saw what the Texas defensive line did to him last weekend, and I think a little bit different of Baylor now. But I will also throw in Ohio State because I came on with you and I told you that I didn't think Ohio State was a team that was ready to win a national championship this year. We all went nuts about the receiving corps. Yes, they're great, but that defensive line is proving a little bit more to me. I think quarterback being able to manage the game, make big plays in big moments, proving different things to me. And TreVeyon Henderson looks fantastic for the Buckeyes right now. So even though all of America had Ohio State probably in the top 4 at this point in the season, I did not. So I'll say Ohio State has been a pleasant surprise for me so far this year.
Yeah, I kind of got to deadpan that one. I mean, some of us had him in the national championship game, so no surprise here. That line, by the way, on that Oregon State-Utah game, and that's a Friday night game, as you mentioned, Oregon State minus 3.5. Now, the model, which I'm holding in my hand, it leans Utah, and I could not disagree with it more. I think Beaver bounce back here, and you know how rarely I use that combination of words together, but Beaver bounce back. I like Oregon State this week. What say you?
I kind of like Oregon State too because I feel like it's a bit of a must-have with what lies ahead. Being at home is going to be worth a lot. I love how DJ's come in and they don't ask him to do too much in that offense. They will be able to run the football because they do it in so many different ways. It's just that when I saw it, I was first a little bit surprised about it, but I do think Oregon State finds a way to get that win.
I just realized I just picked against Utah again. I'm 0 for 750 now over the last 750 games picking against Utah.